The Summer Hikaru Died, the new Netflix mystery horror anime of 2025, somehow just got even more mysterious and horrifying. Hello everyone, I'm Finn. Welcome back to finnfilms. The Summer Hikaru Died, the Netflix mystery horror anime, has easily become one of my favorite new anime, maybe of all time, definitely to come out this year. Not only because of its weird, strange, mysterious story of a eldritch horror body-snatching like entity, but because of how absolutely insane and creepy it is. So then join me once again as we are breaking down everything that happened on this week's episode of this anime, an episode where Hikaru gets his freaking head cut off. Last time on The Summer Hikaru Died, Yoshiki and Hikaru continue to delve into the mystery of their village and its relationship with the spirit on the mountain known as Nonuki-sama. The boys trying to better understand what exactly Hikaru is as an entity and his origins as Nonuki-sama, as the boys are being hunted by Mr. Tanaka's strange bell spirit, Mr. Tanaka being the paranormal investigator. Episode 9 ending as Hikaru and Yoshiki are attacked by this bell spirit in a restaurant. Hikaru, after having weakened himself, is unable to stop this entity, as the boys desperately try to run for their lives, Yoshiki being saved at the last second by the kind woman, Kurobayashi. Episode 9 opens with a flashback, as we see a younger version of Hikaru and Yoshiki paying their respects at the Endo family grave, specifically for Hikaru's father. Hikaru can't help but wanting to eat the manju buns being offered at the grave. As we see, even in grief, Hikaru, back when he was alive, was still a playful little dork. Back in the present, the boys have been taken to Kurobayashi's house after their encounter with the horrifying bell spirit. She comments on how she didn't expect Hikaru to look so normal, being that again, he is a strange entity, an eldritch horror-like being, maybe even a god, some kind of entity that is somewhere between life and death. Yoshiki asking what exactly was the spirit that attacked them, as she explains it was some sort of a curse, a powerful impurity, similar to ghosts or spirits that linger on the borders of our world, these spirits being easily able to cross over to our side. Kurobashi, with her gift, cannot destroy these impurities, she can only send them back to their side. As she comments that Hikaru likely attracts impurities like a lightning rod, and Yoshiki now too attracts them, as he has spent so much time with Hikaru. Yoshiki's mixing with Hikaru, making him less and less human, thus attracting these impurities. As Kurobayashi speculates that when the entity that is Hikaru was on the mountain, it attracted the spirits there, so the villagers didn't have to deal with them. Now though that the spirit is in Hikaru's body and has left the mountain, these spirits are beginning to affect the villagers. Hikaru finally wakes up, confused mid-conversation, having finally recovered. Hikaru saying that he isn't going to hurt her. Not like he could even if he wanted to, as we know that Hikaru is much weaker now. Kurobashi offering him some manju buns, which he ravenously devours. Kurobayashi then tells the boys a story about how long ago her husband rose from the dead, how an impurity used to visit her, and she let it play with her son, believing it to be the spirit of her husband. And while her husband's soul was possibly in this spirit, it was still an impurity. This impurity ultimately attacking and hurting her son. Hikaru's case is different though, as Hikaru is more like a god, something that transcends the cycle of life and death. Kurobayashi though doesn't know anything about the name Nonuki-sama, and she asks the boys what they would like to do. Hikaru saying that he has found a place he belongs, he has found a home, so he wants to protect it, Yoshiki vowing not to leave Hikaru's side. Kurobayashi tells the boys that she will help them come up with a plan, as they decide that they will speak with Old Man Takeda to learn some more info on Nonuki-sama. We then flash over to Tanaka, the paranormal investigator in the woods at the shrine of Nonuki-sama, as his bell spirit has returned from its mission, the spirit charging him, entering into his body, as he cries out in pain. Tanaka seemingly getting the information on what the spirit saw with Hikaru and Yoshiki in the restaurant at the end of episode 8. Back over to the boys, Kurobashi tells them that people in this town owe her some favors, so if Old Man Takeda gives them some issues, just to drop her name, as she holds Hikaru back, wanting to speak with him one-on-one, telling him not to let Yoshiki mix with him anymore, as if he does, he will cease to be human. Yoshiki then tells Hikaru to walk home alone, as he has to go and take care of something personal, as we watch Yoshiki go to a small shrine in a shack, where Crowley, the little bird's grave is, another unmarked grave lying next to it. This grave we assume being for the real Hikaru who died, as Yoshiki pays his respects. Hikaru then enters, as this shed was the spot that the boys used to play in when they were young, even drawing a homemade Mario level on the wall. Hikaru asks Yoshiki how different he is from the real Hikaru, Yoshiki telling him the real Hikaru could read a room like a grown-up and was a closed book, Yoshiki accepting that his best friend is truly gone for good. Hikaru asking if he liked him, and by like him he definitely means in a romantic way. The answer seemingly being yes, but Yoshiki doesn't want to admit it, saying he doesn't feel that way about the new Hikaru. But again, it's hard to tell exactly how truthful Yoshiki is being, as this kind of teaser of a relationship between these two characters is definitely an important part of this anime, this show. The boys then deciding to go over everything they've learned so far. That Nunoki-sama was some kind of a god who granted wishes in exchange for something, but they don't know what it is. However, long ago, in the 1700s, a famine killed a bunch of villagers, who then turned on the spirit, viewing it as a cursed god. The spirit then stopped coming down from the mountain, almost as if it was sealed away, and over time, this big village split into smaller ones. They then think back to what Hikaru's grandfather said about the Indo family and their ritual, and the use of Hichi-san, which we the audience know is the small little head totem that Mr. Tanaka now has, as they presume that the Indo ritual was to make sure Nunoki-sama stayed locked up on the mountain, as they again wonder if Hikaru, the true spirit of Hikaru, is some sort of god. Hikaru then wondering if he should go back to the mountain, because the spirits are attracted to him. Yoshiki wondering if they can somehow trap all of these impurities on the mountain, saying as long as they keep studying and learning more, they might be able to better understand what Hikaru is, and how to ultimately get rid of these impurities from the village. They then try to go and visit Old Man Takeda, to get some more info on Nunoki-sama and the Indo ritual. They go to his house, dropping Kurabayashi's name, which gets them inside to speak with the old man. The man seemingly losing his marbles, as he believes that he is the next one of the villagers that is going to die to the spirit, possibly die to Nunoki-sama. Takeda desperately wanting to speak with Kurabayashi, as he believes she is a true medium, the only person who actually understands spirits and can help him. The man explaining that Nunoki-sama has come down from the mountain, the mention of the name angering him. Specifically, he is angry at the Indo family, Hikaru's father and Hikaru himself. The man saying that this is all the Indo family's fault, because of a blasphemous act, an act that led to many deaths, an act that seemingly happened back in the 1700s, hence why the Indo family must climb the mountain, to apologize to Nunoki-sama and to return something, though he does not say specifically what they need to return. The man saying that the village is cursed by the disgraceful request that the Indo family made all those years ago. Again, though, we don't actually know what this request is, as the old man grows angrier and angrier, lashing out at Hikaru, who again is a member of the Indo family, telling him to look at his family temple. Hikaru in this moment, though, realizes that something is extremely wrong. Old Man Takeda is not himself. There is some sort of spirit inside of him, as the man's form begins to change, as we watch him transform, his hair growing longer, his face changing, the man reaching for the broken katana, drawing the blade, as he lashes out at the boys, as we need to remember that this katana was given to him by Mr. Tanaka. They are suddenly saved, though, by Mr. Tanaka, who comes in out of nowhere, taking the katana, kicking the spirit away. He looks back at Hikaru, saying, "Sorry, kid, I just need to check something," as to our horror and shock, Tanaka swings the chipped blade, it severing Hikaru's neck as black spirit energy flies out. Yoshiki can only look on in shock and horror as he looks at the head of his best friend rolling before him, as he reaches down picking it up, unable to accept that Hikaru might actually be dead this time, as again he looks down at this severed head in his hands. Suddenly, though, the strange spirit-like substance comes flooding out of Hikaru's severed neck, as episode 9 of the Summer Hikaru Died comes to an end. And wowee, what another actually insane, bonkers episode of this anime. I swear, man, this anime continues to get crazier and crazier with every single episode. This mystery of Nunoki-sama, of Hikaru, the strange entity on the mountain, its relationship to the village, just growing deeper and deeper as we've gotten more and more information over the last few episodes. The mystery has slowly begun to unravel, but it very much seems like every single time we get a new grain of information in this mystery, this rabbit hole just seemingly goes deeper and deeper as more mysteries begin to be, unraveled and revealed. I absolutely love this anime, and I love its kind of relationship and links to Shintoism, to Japanese folklore and mythology, these ideas of spirits, as the mountain spirit in Shintoism and Japanese folklore is one of the most powerful of the spirits. The mountain spirit oftentimes being kind of revered as a god, and the Summer Hikaru Died very much plays on this idea, but in a much more kind of eldritchy horror, less of a folklore Shinto way and more of a strange, horrific, horror way. As obviously whatever the real Hikaru is an extremely powerful being, a being that was viewed as a god by the villagers, but not a god in the kind of traditional sense, a religious sense that maybe we in the West kind of view it as. It is viewed more as a god because of just how absolutely powerful the spirit is, when it is more of just kind of a maybe benevolent, maybe malevolent kind of spirit, less of a kind of all-powerful god, again, in kind of a Western religious way. And wow, is my brain absolutely on a full throttle, running rampant with all these kind of, new mysteries and threads that are slowly emerging throughout this anime, and just kind of branching off into so many different theories on what exactly is going on in this village, what exactly is the true mystery of Hikaru and Nonuki-sama. This anime and this mystery has piqued my interest so much that I'm actually very much debating reading ahead in the manga, which to me is how I know that I truly am in love with an anime, when it actually makes me want to read ahead and find out what happens, because I just can't wait. But I think I'm going to try and resist getting myself spoilers from the manga for this anime, because I am just enjoying the anime adaptation so goddamn much. And obviously we have to talk about the elephant in the room from this episode, the fact that Hikaru has been completely decapitated. Tanaka cutting his head from his body in probably one of the most shocking, horrifying scenes of this episode. My poor boy Yoshiki can't just catch a break, can he? He's already watched his best friend die once, and now he has to watch his best friend seemingly die again, this time obviously being possessed by some strange mountain spirit, but still it's nonetheless horrifying and absolutely traumatizing. I think it's safe to say, though, that Hikaru is definitely not dead, especially from those teaser scenes we got at the very end of this episode, and I can only imagine what horrors are in store for us in next week's episode, and what is going to happen between Tanaka and this eldritch spirit that is taking over Hikaru, as I imagine he probably isn't going to be very happy that he just got decapitated. I am absolutely loving this anime. It's easily been one of my favorite new animes that has come out this year, and I am an absolute lover of all things horror and mysterious, and The Summer Hikaru Died very much is a unique, interesting take on a horror anime. It is horrifying, but not in maybe your more traditional sense of many other works of horror anime, especially if you compare it to the works of horror manga like Junji Ito, the horror icon. The Summer Hikaru Died is much more kind of cerebral in its horror, though there are moments of sheer classic kind of horror, of body horror and things like that. It's more of a kind of tension, suspense, mystery anime that does have horror elements than a more traditional, kind of horror story in that sense, kind of in a Junji Ito sense. And I'm absolutely loving it. It's one of the most unique, interesting anime that I've seen in a long, long time, and I am absolutely in love with this story, and I just can't wait to see how it pans out. Anime like this, horror mystery anime, kind of slow burn anime, are hard to execute in my opinion, but I think this anime is doing it extremely well, and again, has easily become one of my favorite anime to come out this year, which is no easy feat, as 2025 so far has been an absolute banger year for anime. Yeah, this episode was wild. This was definitely kind of the lore dump episode, as we got just so much information about this story and the many mysteries of Nonuki-sama and just everything that's going on in the kind of greater plot of this story. But as always with this show, it seems like every time we get more information, every time we have some questions answered, there are just even more questions that are up that are just waiting to be answered. It's like with every door that opens, just a bunch of more closed doors just appear, and I can't wait to see what's going to happen. As always, guys, with these videos, these are just my thoughts and opinions, so feel free to let me know yours in the comment section down below. Let me know, what did you think of this week's episode of The Summer Hikaru Died? Let me know your favorite moment in the comment section and your theories and speculation for the mystery of this anime. No spoilers, though. If you did enjoy this video, guys, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, as that is the easiest way to support me, and it really does go a long way in putting these videos into the algorithms. If you did enjoy this video, then want to check out some of my other anime content on screen now. And as always, I hope to see you in the next video. Stay safe out there. Until next time, peace, love, Adu.